You see, small cars are dying everywhere. No one seems to know how to make them. No one seems to want to make them. They seem absolutely radioactive. Like, no company wants to make them for various reasons, and I am going to present some of those reasons and present counter arguments today for why companies should make small cars. You see, because I'm going to make a controversial video as my next video. It's actually a redo of an old one, and a lot of people are going to say, well, small cars aren't worth it, and it's not worth it, and they shouldn't do that. And this will be my counter. So these are my three favorite small cars here. The Toyota Yaris, or Aygo as it's called. They're two separate cars, but similar Toyota made vehicle over here. The Prius C, which I think is the best, and the Honda Fit, which is a strong contender in the channel colors yellow, orange, and cyan. Starting off with argument number one, affordability. Now, this doesn't really matter for, car companies. They don't care if the car is affordable or not, but what does is the buyers, especially young people. Young people who are starting driving for the first time really needed cars that are affordable, and small cars, believe it or not, are some of the most affordable cars in the market. Now, I get that prices have come down and that the Corolla is $21,000, but the issue is some people that would buy the Corolla now can't end up, moving up to the Camry or to other brands because it can't suit their needs because it's too small. Why? Well, because it's having to now do two jobs, the job of the Camry and the job of the Yaris at the same time. The second is the idea of the loss leader. So this is your small car right here. This is a Toyota Yaris. Then you've got the RAV4 over here, and then you've got the Highlander up here. The idea is so that you're Gen Z. You're coming out of high school, and what you need is a good car. So your parents get you a Toyota Yaris, and you decide, oh, I love this Yaris. It's great. You have your dog in the back. You think it's great. You put stickers all over the back of it. You just love it. And then, you've grown up. You've got your own job now, and you're ready to buy your first car that you will pay for with your own money. And you get something like a Toyota RAV4 LE. It's probably used, or it's new, probably certified pre-owned at the dealership. Now, what Toyota may not notice is this was very profitable because A, it was bought brand new, and this was also profitable because of dealership maintenance. Even though this was certified pre-owned, it probably still has a warranty on it, and you're going to keep coming even after that warranty's gone, which means Toyota is going to keep making money off of you as long as you keep deciding to maintain that vehicle at a Toyota dealership. And then finally, you get some kids, you're like, oh, there's a baby on the way, I should get a bigger car, this RAV4 is probably not going to suit me, it's about 5 years old, and then you buy a brand new, large profit margin, bigger, larger car. So the idea is, if this car didn't exist, and they got a Mitsubishi Mirage per se, they're not just going to magically switch over to a Toyota, they're going to switch over to an Outlander Sport, and then an Outlander. You want to get them to your brand, and in this case, this is the hierarchy for Toyota. There are hierarchies for other brands too, and this is, again, the timeline. So what, like 2014, 2016, and then 2020, with time in between. And the other thing is unsaturated market. You see, like 10 years ago, this was the market. You had all these cars, all of them, Nissan, all these cars. Nowadays, they're all dead. Now, the Fiat is still around, but barely. It's not selling at all. And that's not because it's a bad vehicle. That's just because they literally cannot afford to make them. The Ford has been gone for a while. The Mitsubishi's gone this year. Same with the Versa. And these two have been gone forever. And there are so many others. There are literally no small cars in this segment in the sale in the United States today. I am not lying. There is buyers. There is, if we look at the weight here, the Nissan Versa outsold the Mitsubishi Outlander. Think about that. The Outlander, which is historically supposed to be like the Highlander, 3 rows, large family SUV. This is what all these cars are turning into, and yet the small little loss leader over here sold more than the Mitsubishi Outlander did. Now, Mitsubishi is a small company, Nissan is slightly bigger, but you have to admit, the only reason why this Nissan sold so well is A, because of an unsaturated market and young people. SUVs are good, but they still can be outsold by smaller cars. And also various smaller reasons. First of all, smaller cars are affordable for people. Easier access to new cars. Now you may say, well, why is a new car important for a company? A lot of these are just reasons why people should buy new cars and for companies. Well, think about it. Affordable means young people. Young people buy more cars. You don't want to cater to, this is the issue with Buick. Buick catered to old people. All the old people died, and then they don't have the people anymore. Same with Mercury. That's why Mercury went under. And the same thing with Oldsmobile. The old people brands die off. So if you start your brand with young people, it should last forever. The issue with Scion, you will say, oh, well, Scion was a brand for young people, and that thing died off. Well, that's because the brand hierarchy worked as expected. I would say about, not half, I'd say about maybe an eighth of new Toyota buyers just bought from Toyota because they had a Scion as their first car. They're not going to keep buying Scion. The point is, Scion brings you up to Toyota, Toyota brings you up to Lexus. That's the point. That's why we have brand hierarchies, why we have trim levels in the first place. Easier access to new cars. Car companies don't realize, and this is the big thing down here, new cars give you years of profits. Every single time you go to the dealership and get work done, you're having a severe profit margin slapped onto that work that would not normally be put on at a regular car maintenance service shop, and the company gets those that benefits. So if the car costs less for the manufacturer to make, but they have a smaller profit margin, it's likely worth it for them if they just raise the prices on the maintenance a little bit to cover up for the slight loss. This is more for a people reason. They're easily maneuverable. They also strengthen the brand image. Your brand, if you want your brand to be easily accessible and great for young people, well, then you need a car that's easily accessible and great for young people. And then you can sell all the other cars and build off of that. Strengthens brand image. Better for cities. The cars sell really well in urban areas. In New York City, people in New York City buy cars too, and they want cars that are easier to park and easily maneuverable. Again, these are reasons for people to buy the cars, but these are also reasons which car manufacturers need to think of when selling small cars, and more importantly, marketing small cars to sell more of them. Young people buy cars for the rest of their life. If you get them when you're young, they will buy it. Fleets aren't going to want to buy a luxury Lexus ES because they know it's going to get trampled on and trashed and get the shit kicked out of it. So for fleets, they'll buy the Yaris's. I think it was a car company, I think it was Enterprise or whatever, they just bought like 50,000 new Yaris's, I think like 10 years ago from Toyota, and they're still in service today. And brand loyalty, again, moving up the chain. You like one car, well then you'll probably like this, well then you'll probably like this. You keep moving up until eventually you buy a high profit margin vehicle. And it's not like car companies aren't like, the profit margins on small cars are slim. Why? Well, because you have to compete with other companies, which again we've already proven isn't really happening anymore. Let's keep moving on. The other thing is they are cheap to produce. This is a 2018 Toyota Yaris, and in the interior, the door handles are from Camry, the seats are the same as a Scion XB, the heated seat thing. Now, so many of these are just shared with thousands of other cars, but I just put a specific example of a car that has used these parts in the past. The Prius uses the little switch. The RAV4, the LE 2015 had these exact same arrangement, probably the exact same computer under there. Tundra, and again, the Camry and Corolla and all that have the same window switches, the same window switch hardware, the same computer, the same ECU, the same engine, same everything. Again, Corolla, just generic, backup thing. The RAV4, I have a RAV4. It has those exact same pair of lights with a sunglass holder. And then again with the RAV4 with the screen. So you don't have to make a bunch of bespoke parts for a small car. In fact, a small car should be easy and cheap to produce. So what you do is you just essentially take a bunch of bargain bin parts, slap them together, and then boom, you have a small car. Now, you will need to do things. You'll need to do some, exterior work. But again, with modern safety standards and modern quality standards, you can probably just injection mold them in China, ship them over, and then you'll be fine. One big reason for this is teens. Now, teens are important, and let me explain to you. This is something that people don't understand about the auto industry. Generations work in sections. Millennials started with one car shape, and that was sedans, and ended with another car shape. That was SUVs. Same thing with the boomers. They started with, sedans and ended with wagons. And now the Gen Z are starting with sedans, and that means the auto industry made sedans for the millennials and made wagons for the boomers. Why can't they make sedans for these younger buyers, which view them as reliable? Because their parents started off with sedans, which is making, auto companies like Ford and GM reconsider their sedan-free lineups. And they're not going to be making luxury sedans because, again, all the old people are dead and have already moved to SUVs by now because they want to be hip and cool. No, they're going to make them for the teens, which means small SUVs. And if Toyota gets whatever brand it is, I swear to God it's Toyota. I really hope it is, but I'm sure it's not going to be because they love letting me down. Whatever brand capitalizes on this will grow significantly. Also, global Gen Z is a little bit bigger than but in the United States, millennials are a little bit bigger than Gen Z. It's just kind of overall, the saturation, but they're very close. And guess what? Right now, the auto industry is purely 100% focused on millennial buyers. These Gen Z buyers, which are 2010's the cutoff point, so those people are going to be about 15 and a half. Yeah, I think 15, depending on when they're born. About 15 and a half in 2026, and they're going to start driving, and they're going to need cars. So it's time for us to get rid of the millennials, treat them like old people, make their cars, but in small numbers, and then move over to what Gen Z wants, and then the shape will age with them again, and they'll pick a shape that they like for the end of their lifespan as well. Again, the reason why the Venza and all those cars in the Ford Flex existed was because old people liked wagons, but they wanted to make SUVs, and they wanted to get both millennial buyers and boomer buyers, so they made those cars. And then projected market impact. Again, population drivers, high volume and compact. For Generation Z preferences, they like sedans and Civics over trucks and SUVs. Trucks and SUVs are what we're focusing on. We need to move it back. Economics, they're cheaper to buy, to insure, and to operate. Gen Z is one of the most brokest generations because they haven't been working for 50 years. Lifestyle, urban, efficient, eco-aware. The small cars really get them on that. And tech and digital, they like Well, lots of technology. And the best part about lots of technology is that it's cheap. It does not cost you a lot to put lots of technology in a car. And 8 is social media. The Mitsubishi Mirage is an excellent example of this. The Mitsubishi Mirage has sold decently well over the past few years. Now, why do you think that is? Is that because the Mitsubishi Mirage is a genuinely good car which everyone should buy? No, that's because of communities like this one, Mitsubishi Mirage on Reddit. They share their cars. Oh, look, it's a brand new car. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, look at that. Blah, 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 blah. Google's in the way, but it's like, oh, I just got my Mitsubishi Mirage. People love the Mitsubishi Mirage. Again, on the internet, oh yeah, ownership review. Is it that bad? The less truly affordable car in America. Teens like this are going to have them as their first cars. And let's say Toyota comes back with the Yaris. They market it correctly. They market it well to young people with fun colors and a broad design and, well shaped with a good brand. Maybe bring Scion back, which is the perfect timing, honestly, because no other company will be expecting that. If they do that, teens will post it online. They'll share it with their friends. This, because you see, when millennials were buying their first cars in the 90s, then 2000s, and 2010s, social media was around, but online you couldn't post about, oh, look, I just got this, Toyota Tercel, and it's the best thing I've ever had. But nowadays with social media, they can, and whichever one does it first is going to have the biggest social media preference. And right now, a lot of teens' decisions, I think it's like 90% of them, trust social media over news and traditional advertisements. Your buyers are your advertisement, and young people post on used social media all the time. So again, there is a benefit to being first in this new category. So that is the argument for small cars. They're cheap to make, they're easy to make, the market is there, Gen Z is buying more, we need to shift to Gen Z, small cars will sell well, if you build it they will come, they're easy to manufacture. There's just so many reasons to make small cars, and here they are, and I'm glad that I made this video because now, when people ask me, well, small cars aren't profitable, and they don't blah 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 blah, this is the video and the slideshow that I will respond with. So with that, thank you for watching, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you all very soon.